amid the Prairie State, street art, sparkling wine, and starved rock?
Cheers.
Cheers.
We're exploring LaSalle County, located a little more than an hour southwest of Chicago. Many people adventure to this area to explore the state parks, including popular Starved Rock State Park, but they may not know that just nearby they can also enjoy wine tasting and street art.
We have more than 40 pieces of public art in Streator.
We're diving into the Illinois wine industry at August Hill Winery in Utica with Mark Wenzel, tasting Illinois sparkling wine, and exploring a community transformed by street art, a place you might want to explore that's rich in history and photo opportunities. It's the Travels with Darley podcast, and we're in Illinois.
Ottawa is the county seat. I-80 runs straight across LaSalle County. So pretty much on one end you have Ottawa, and then it's Utica, and then you start to get into a clumping of communities. So there's Oglesby, LaSalle, but then we have Streator down to the south. And even though that they're kind of off the beaten path, they have it's another attraction within LaSalle County that you can enjoy.
That's Kurt Bedei with the LaSalle County Tourism Coalition, who is just one of the locals we're meeting to better understand this area of Illinois, not far from Chicago, including Utica and Streator.
You know, they have Gaetano's Vault. It was an old bank. Streator used to be called Unionville, based off the soldiers that fought in the Civil War from that area. One of the founding fathers' nephews opened up the bank and they called it the Union Bank. To all the locals, it's still called Union Bank. You can actually sit in the vault of the bank and enjoy your meals there. So it's quite unusual experience.
Just an hour and a half's drive southwest of Chicago and only about 20 minutes west of the charming city of Ottawa, you can learn about something you may not equate with Illinois: wine. A trip to the August Hill Winery and Tasting Room in Utica, Illinois, is a fascinating window into the wine industry in Illinois. The tasting room is complete with a tasting bar, lounge, and outdoor patio where wine is paired with small bites. I belly up to the bar in the tasting room to find out from entrepreneur and vintner Mark Wenzel what makes Illinois wine unique. How did you get into making wine here in Illinois? It's not what I first think about when I think about Illinois.
Well, obviously it wasn't my first thought either, but being in the farm industry, started learning about growing grapes and was able to learn from some other people growing grapes in Illinois, and it kind of evolved into us starting our own winery.
Is there a theme that runs throughout Illinois wines?
Well, I definitely feel Illinois wine is unique. We have some of the richest soils in the world, and it's very good for the corn and soybean industry. But where our grapes are actually grown are along the Illinois riverbeds that actually is more clay, which is not as good for the corn and soybeans, and which though the grapes really thrive on. We can't grow the grapes that you find in Europe or in California, but they're grapes that are grown in the Midwest that can handle our climate. In general, they have a little bit more acidity and also have a lightness to them. We have the Illinois Sparkling Company, which focuses on the traditional method, which is also the same process as what is done in Champagne, France.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Mark and I toast with a glass of Illinois Sparkling. That's good. I can taste the acidity, but I like it. You kind of remember that first sip.
Yes, and that's much of what Champagne is all about, is nice crispness, lightness, and it's a style that we feel we can do well in Illinois.
It's very good. Cheers.
Cheers.
To get further behind the scenes, Mark takes me to his vineyard, not far from downtown, to see his sparkling winemaking process, following a traditional method that winemakers in France's Champagne region have been using for hundreds of years. The disgorgement is the most spectacular part. As the cap is removed, a pellet of frozen yeast shoots out. It's a true celebration, and Mark lets me help, making me see why winemaking can be so rewarding.
Champagne for everyone.
About 30 minutes southeast of Utica and 20 minutes south of Ottawa, just 81 miles from Chicago, is Streator, Illinois, a popular spot for street art, and a city that's in fact seen a renaissance from it. Mayor Tara Bedei sits down with me to share what's unique about this central Illinois city. It draws in fans of public art, as well as travelers seeking a mix of the arts and local restaurants, with time nearby in Starved Rock State Park.
We do have some very prominent residents. One of our favorites is Clyde Tombaugh, and that's who discovered Pluto in 1930. He was a young man at the time and was down in Lowell Observatory, but he grew up just south of Streator on a farm and was watching these small plates and comparing them and could see one dot moving different than stars would move. So we do have actually 2 murals dedicated to him, an annual festival for Pluto Fest, and a statue, a sculpture that's on the north side of Streator in one of our golf courses. So we have a lot about Clyde Tombaugh and his discovery of Pluto. So only American to discover a planet. And then Streator, I know it was downgraded to a dwarf planet, but we still say it's a planet. So we will claim that. So we're very passionate about Pluto, where we are.
How many murals are there in Streator?
More than 20. In our Walldogs event, we painted 18 in a weekend, but we had previously had a handful, and one anywhere from a small one to 3 stories tall. So there's a lot. But we overall have more than 40 pieces of public art in Streator, so it's pretty incredible. I think one of the most impressive would be our Heritage Park mural. It is 3 stories tall. It's backlit. So at nighttime, it looks different. You can see silhouettes in there, so it looks like there's people in the building. And it's just, it's pretty incredible, especially the difference it made on the block. There is a building that had fallen down where this is located, and it became a pocket park. And the wall was probably it was in pretty poor condition. There was leftover plaster on it from when the building was there. And it was one of the biggest complaints is, as you're driving through our downtown, you have this 3-story, terrible-looking wall. And so this mural was through West Clock Studios. Ray Pasico led the project. It sticks out from the building for that backlighting, and it just transformed that block and our downtown. And that was done in 2017.
Tell me about the Walldogs. How would you describe what they're doing?
The Walldogs are just an incredible group of artists. And they get together once, twice a year, and they'll go to a town, volunteer. A lot of them will volunteer their time, and they are so talented. I'm not an art person, so their work is amazing to me. But they will go and transport the community. I mean, it's incredible. We had 260 artists come to Streator in 2018. It was part of our 150th anniversary for Streator. It was Illinois' bicentennial, and then the Walldogs' 25th year. So it was a really nice celebration of 3 anniversaries at once. And we had 31 U.S. states and 8 countries represented. So it's a lot of planning to paint 18 murals in one weekend. A lot of logistics and everything, and finding host families for artists, working through meals and everything. But it's just so incredible, and it really does bring, going from on a Wednesday night, a wall with just primed and white, ready to go, and then by Saturday morning, you have this piece of art. It's just incredible, and we kind of joke people come to see it happen. You're watching paint dry, but it's just the talent of people is just amazing. It's artwork that tells a story. It tells the history of your town, and that's what I think adds that. It's not abstract. It's not, people get it. They can look at that and say, oh, that depicts our history, and so I think it brought a set of pride to our community as well. It just really, it recognized things that we thought were important to our history and that people would be excited to see. So it's, if any community ever has a chance, take it, because it was fantastic for Streator. We absolutely loved it, and people still talk about it and the fun with it.
It's when I, learned about it, I was thinking, wow, I had, loved the murals in Ottawa, and then now I'm thinking, well, Streator is for street art. Streator is for murals because there's so many.
There are. We did 18, so it's amazing. And we had kids art, so we have a couple of children's murals as well that were painted that weekend. And we had over 200 Streator kids were painting on our murals.
So Main Street in Monroe would be definitely a place for people, because today it's so popular, as you know, to travel around and get photographs for your social media, for your Instagram, do some videos for your TikTok. You want to be in Streator and you want to be on?
Yeah, Main and Monroe. That's where you want to go.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a little concerts that are hosted there every Friday from June through end of August. And it's a lot of people sit and enjoy that park.
You're the mayor of Streator.
Yeah.
Share with me what you think the vibe of Streator is. If you were to say, Streator has this vibe.
Streator is, I will put our volunteers up against anyone in the world. They're incredible. We have every festival, every event is all done by volunteers. And the caring of people, when there's someone in Streator that needs something, they come out and they make it happen. It's just said, it's incredible with the events that get put on and anything that happens in Streator, how we help each other. I would put that against anybody in the world. I really would. I think that's one of the things that I really pride ourselves on. But we're a close-knit, blue-collar, small town in Illinois, and I think we're on the move. We've had just a spur of women that are opening their own businesses, a lot of boutiques, home stores, cooking, kitchen stores. So there's a lot going on. And so that's pretty incredible to see that difference in 10 years.
It's always so nice when you hear about a community coming together.
Yes.
And small businesses are what make me want to travel. I want to meet the people.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I was born and raised.
Born and raised in Streator.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the mayor. Got to be
And
proud
I'm
of that.
the mayor.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I never set out. I never thought I would grow up. That was not my aspiration, but I went away to college and worked a couple years away and came home and just wanted to do something to improve my town, and that led me to running for council and joining this organization and that's kind of how my path and what ended up happening.
It's truly a gift to travel, especially when you meet passionate locals making a difference in their communities. A trip through LaSalle County has shared a history of people coming together to produce American sparkling wine and Walldog art that inspires them and their communities to share it with the world. And that's truly special. Thanks for joining me in Illinois for another Travels with Darley podcast adventure. And if you like this episode, search for the Travels with Darley episodes on Illinois as part of our PBS and streaming series. And if you want more of this podcast, please subscribe.